Hi everyone, welcome back to Dragon Image. Today we're here in Studio 2 and we're having a look at our new LEDs, which are RGB LEDs. This particular one is the DF718, which also comes in a larger size. Basically, like traditional LEDs, you still have your daylight kind of LEDs embedded in these, but with that you also have a tungsten set and you also have an RGB LED. So we've got 3 sets of LEDs. This also allows us to have our normal bicolor LED construction. So we've got from taillight to tungsten, allowing us to kind of have anything in between. But now, with the RGB LEDs incorporated, we can now add color to those scenes. This gives you a lot more kind of creative options when kind of shooting, because it allows you to not only match other light sources, such as fluorescents that have a lot more green in them. By just adding a little bit of green, you can get them to match. But you can also, for instance, turn down the daylight LEDs and just use the colors. What we're going to do now is we're going to turn off the house lights and we're going to show you just how effective that can be. Okay, so we've got the light set up. At the moment it's set up like a traditional flex LED, so it's giving us a color temperature of roughly 5600 Kelvin, which is considered daylight. This is what a normal kind of flex LED gives me in the bicolor options. I do have the ability to change that color temperature by kind of dimming between the 2 sets of LEDs, the tungsten and the daylight set, allowing me to control just how warm I want that light to be. But I also have the ability to dim that, so again, all the way back down to 0. And then the other option I have is the ability to actually control a specific LED. So in this particular case, I'm controlling the red, but I could very easily also kind of control the green. So now I'm adding green to that, which is giving me more of a yellow kind of look by mixing the 2. If I turn that back, I can go back to red, turn that one down, go to green and add that in. So it's not a particularly intuitive light source. It's a very manual light source. So what I'm doing is I'm adding or subtracting either R, G or B from the lighting setup that I'm using. So I can't particularly go, you know what, I want a quarter CTO. It's not like that. It's just the ability to add the RGB colors to the thing. They are working on applications, so in the future there might be more options for that, but at the moment it's a very analog kind of light source. With that being said, I do have a lot of kind of flexibility as to how I want that all to look. This obviously gives me a lot of creative choices. So if I want to have a look, kind of that look like a Chinese alleyway with a Leon sign in the background, I can definitely easily kind of incorporate that particular light color into this. The other option it gives me is it gives me the ability to, for instance, not only use the daylight LEDs, but also incorporating color to that. So let's just say that I'm currently shooting with a lot of fluorescent light sources. Fluorescent light sources tend to have a greener tinge, so I might want to just quickly add a bit of green to my shot so it matches those fluorescents. So even though I've got a high CRI light source, which is the LED, I can mix it with the more older fluorescent light sources to kind of make sure that kind of color looks the same throughout. I can also, for instance, say I wanted to, I'll turn this back down. I can also add red, for instance. So let's just say I'm doing something and the person's skin tones are looking a bit flat and I want to incorporate, kind of warm them up slightly, but I don't want it to be more of a tungsten look. I want this to kind of pop the reds. I can add a little bit of red to that particular shot doing that. You do also have a couple of kind of preset options, which gives me an ability to quickly shift between different colors. At this point, there is no way to save your presets, but again, that's something that they're kind of working on, which will give you a lot more kind of flexibility in the future. The other thing they do have is DMX. So if you've got a DMX control board, you can actually make it do all sorts of amazing things if you're that way inclined. But for now, all it is is a more creative choice on a traditional variable color LED. So if I go back to here, I can very easily put it there. So there you have it. So a great choice for anybody looking for a more flexible LED and not only physical construction, but also in output, giving you more creative choices for your next shoot. Thanks.